How's it going? It's Collier from Super Bad Ads here to talk about another marketing topic. This time it's about making marketing organizations. This is something a lot of people have questions about, specifically in terms of what's the right type of marketing organization for me. Some people are interested in knowing how to actually just make them or run a company kind of like Super Bad Ads or like Super Bad Ads. Others want to just understand the structures within larger organizations so they can kind of see what they're going to grow into. But this presentation and video is going to predominantly just cover a large variety of that. Ideally, you have seen some of my videos before, but if you haven't, welcome. To give a quick background on me, I'm Collier, like Call Your Friend, and I own Super Bad Ads. We are a digital marketing agency in Austin who specifically helps with small businesses. I won't bore you with all the details. Specifically, that's on this slide about me and kind of where Super Bad Ads came from. But if you ever need help, head to superbadads.com, schedule a meeting. I'd love to talk to you. A little about our services and kind of why we know how to structure a marketing organization. And we have a structure specifically designed around startups and small businesses and what they really need. So every company in the modern age needs paid media, it needs organic social, and it needs website or app SEO. These three things come together and all rely on great content to deliver an excellent marketing result. And all of that requires great technology to track it properly. So we do that end to end. If you ever, again, have questions, you know where to find us. Now, these are the four things that we're going to talk about. This doesn't cover every single type of marketing organization ever, and we're going to use some things from Gemini deep research that we pulled also, and I think that's interesting to show what it researched and pulled up. I'm going to show one of my favorite sources, eMarketer. I'm also going to talk about like what it looks like for small businesses, as well as if you wanted to design an agency, and I'll kind of re-reference that service page I made. So to start, I really just want to say, one, I did have a Simpsons theme with all the GIFs, and I just kind of started it and I couldn't stop. So this one is really that emphasizes like Homer's genes, marketing organizations don't have a one size fits all. What you need to do is ultimately going to be different from the next company and the next company after that. This one in particular, I can talk about quite a bit because I've worked at big companies, I've worked at big agencies, and the structure for them is largely the same, but can be very nuanced. And so the one that I have an article here from eMarketer that, as I've mentioned before, this is a really great source for data, marketing information, and trends for really any kind of marketing you want to be doing or are needing data for. So shout out to them specifically. But what I want to kind of point out, and I'm not going to go through all this, but I will cover these really quickly. Full service just means that they do everything, obviously. It's usually more boutique. It's usually a smaller company. It's really hard for the large scaled companies to have a full service. It's not to say that they don't exist. Great examples of that are VML. I think McCann, at least the McCann World Group Network for sure. Digital advertising agency, that's what Super Bad Ads is. We specifically prioritize and specialize in buying digital ads. We can do other services as well, but that's not our core bread and butter. That's not what we sort of have a scaled solution for. A traditional advertising agency is going to be a lot of the big New York style people, but one of the things that separates this is that they're really hyper focused on TV, radio, and print. Okay, so for example, Super Bad Ads, we can help with CTV, we can help with online radio, but we don't do print. So if you wanted to do that, you'd have to go with someone with either connections like that or go direct to publisher. Social agencies. This is another really popular approach. So this is simply that they say we are going to do community engagement, have full scaled content creation all the way up and down, all across all the platforms, really doing what we're doing even here because we're making content for YouTube, which goes into SEO content and down the funnel. But ultimately, they have a really hyper focused approach on just either some of them will offer ads too, but primarily on organics, social, and brand. So content and content pillars and strategy and things like that, which is incredibly important. Creative agencies only provide ads. They're making just the things that actually go into it. They don't help with anything else. These are usually very hyper cool and like the trendiest and the best of the best. So I always think of like White and Kennedy's, the 72 and Sunny's, media buying agency. This is where I've worked at plenty of these as well. Universal McCann. So again, these are the more segmented, more holding company style ad agencies where they're like, we just do this. So media buying agency is just, they're like, we know all the networks, we know all the platforms, we have great connections and deals, we know how to get ad spot at a great cost. So how are ad holding companies adapting? Really, a lot of them are consolidating right now. The main thing that we're seeing in the holding company world is that they're continuing to squish and squish and squish because it's not effective for them to continue to have this super segmented, everybody's doing just one thing. They need agencies that can deliver on more services. And this is a trend. A long time ago, this is how it was. And then everyone was like, no, I just want an agency for this. And I want an agency for this. Then now as the economy is changing, companies and marketing budgets are tighter, things are contracting again. So what I would say is there are pros and cons. Really, if you're a small business, there's not a ton of pros. They're very expensive. They do have great connections. They do have great talent. They're very established process. So it's honestly in a lot of ways, it's a very safe way to go about marketing. But the issue is that, again, it's a very high cost and barrier to entry for a lot of companies. These are the top holding ad companies that exist: WPP, Omnicom, Publicis, IPG. I've worked at IPG, Publicis, and WPP. I'm not going to really talk about the outlook of the ad agencies. That's not really important, but that's the structure. That's what big companies look like. So internally, there's also a big difference, and I'll actually reference this from the Gemini point. So one, if you're interested in getting this report, let me know, and I'm happy to send it to you. Just, again, contact us at Superbad Ads, and I'll share this with you. But ultimately, the in-house structure here is that this is what happens when you have a big company. You have a huge marketing team that manages usually a team of agencies or also does all the work. If you're fully in-house, you are creating the ads, doing the media buying, doing every single thing handled by a team structured literally that sits, on a floor somewhere in your company. If you are a hybrid, you probably have a strong core team of marketing leaders and strategists who manage executionary agencies across your different channels. The hardest thing about this, obviously, is that you have to have great talent who knows what they're doing. You have to pay them well. You have to, do all of the things and also have full structure. So that gets more costly when you need to hire more specialized skill sets. And again, there's just the added management cost and time too. So overall, big companies typically have the ability to do this. There's some structure images that I think were great from the CMOX one. So these are some of the overall ones: product focus, channel specific, operational, geography focus, segment, and customer experience. What I would say is that typically you see a channel specific structure at a big company. But again, this varies very widely by company and specific instance. For example, tech companies typically have incredibly performance oriented teams and very low brand teams. So they're all very tight budget, hyper growth focused marketers. So startups. Okay, so we're going to look a lot more at the Gemini research for this one. Also, again, great Simpsons GIF. I believe it's a little bit higher. So what I liked about the Gemini research on this one is it shows that there's really kind of in different phases that you need to have your marketing org in, right? So in the pre-seed, it's really focused on kind of a fractional CMO probably, who can guide the direction, the vision, the channels, and all of that, and basically manage a team of contractors that will help get the immediate work done, like the website and and your, help with pitch decks and all of that kind of info. The seed phase is when you, of course, have more money and starts to actually shift towards execution on this. This is going to be where you might have a director or a senior marketing manager who is, again, reporting to the CMO, fractional CMO, and is helping kind of guide and actually be that first senior manager inside of the company. And then the growth phase will start having more individualized roles or kind of channel roles like email or social or paid or things like that. The key roles really in the startup are the CMO and the specific marketing managers that are kind of coming in slowly over time. So prioritize your growth channels. Again, the ones that we recommend to start with are always your SEO for your website and app. It is your social media. It is your digital acquisition through paid. So email is also very important, but again, the thing about email is it's a lot more about good quality content and repetition into their inbox than it is actually having kind of a very strong initial content approach. Email is typically being repurposed into it. Great email is being original and unique, but a lot of email is typically repurposing like blog content or newsletters or updates and things to keep your email list warm. So there's a small team, there's a traditional team, which is more like product or function, a digital structure, which is again what we have, or integrated. This is integrated, typically has more people that are focused on experience as well. So like you might have a customer support staff as well as someone overseeing a lot more of that, again, interaction or sales perhaps too. And then enterprise is a lot more layered. So that's again kind of that more higher level big company structure. So key marketing, and again, they're re-emphasizing everything here. Email is, of course, very important. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about is small businesses, our favorite. Again, another great gift. And as you know, we're here to help too. The thing about small business marketing organizations is that they typically are facing similar challenges to the startups, except they are never going to go into those great, huge investment phases, right? They're never going to get $10 million, which we all wish would happen. It's instead going to be more focused on finding affordable marketing or being able to conduct effective marketing at an ROI positive structure. So that's why we like digital. That's why Super Bad Ads does what it does. It is a marketing model designed to be fully functional and like getting that money back when you're spending it. So overall, the main thing, and this is again kind of an example of what it looks like in cost here. So this is 40 hours of work a week in an agency cost for, again, in potentially a 1 week, $6,000. If you have in-house people, that can be $4,000, $5,000 per person. I mean, a $40,000 salary is going to immediately be running pretty close to this as well, which is why having an agency for a small business is a smart and cost-effective solution to have more. If you have one agency who is consolidated and can manage all of these channels for you at one price, you are going to be able to get more out of that and have more people essentially expediting your return than you would if you went slowly or did it by yourself piece by piece. The issue with small businesses too is that they don't have a ton of, extra, I would say, marketing infrastructure like either ad agencies or big companies do, in the sense that you really need to have one marketing expert, and if the business owner or the team doesn't already have one, that's a hard first thing to get as well. So what you really should be thinking about is budget, expertise, of course, flexibility, and control. I'm not going to, again, spend too much right here because I'd rather go down to some of the more important ways that you can kind of scale to it. Ultimately, the conclusion of all of the small business marketing pieces is that you need to make sure that when you're spending and when you're going into a relationship with any company across the local, big or small, that they are going to not guarantee results, but have a clear approach to measurement that is based on your business results. And if you can't get that, especially from a small business perspective, you need to keep looking. That's the hardest and most challenging thing. And honestly, the feedback I've gotten from many of the clients who've moved to super bad ads is that we understand their data and how to measure the results. And that's something that they don't have the same kind of experience with from their previous partners or from even their previous consultants or contractors. This one is going to be more of a teaser than a full breakdown. If you really want to know about creating a marketing organization, go add me on LinkedIn. Let's schedule time to talk about it. I'd be happy to give you a lot more details. The truth is, the simplest way I can kind of break this down is that you need to have a structure that creates a scaled approach to managing multiple clients with the same processes. The hardest thing about marketing is that a lot of tasks are one-time tasks. And if you are managing a million one-time tasks across your clients, you are going to run out of time, steam, and energy very quickly. I've definitely done it to myself, and that's why we've structured and moved our organization how we have. We need a structure that doesn't have a custom every single time approach. A lot of smaller marketing organizations require that kind of, not cookie cutter, because there are still customizations that we do, but more so structured approaches that make the work that we do easier to accomplish effectively and get those results. So again, if you really want to know, add me on LinkedIn. That's our whole thing. Again, if you're a small business and need some help, if you want to talk about making a marketing organization, we always do a free 30-minute consultation. So we'd be happy to just chat or, just give you the feedback you're looking for. Thanks for watching. We're Super Bad Ads. We're the digital marketing agency for small businesses. Come say hey.